Do you ever go into someone's house and think, wow, people can get used to any smell? Yeah, honestly, like, it's amazing what we can go nose blind to, but it's also one of my, a big fear of mine is that I have friends around or guests around and my house smells and I'm not aware of the fact that my house stinks because I'm used to it, but they're too polite to say anything about it. I'm scared of that. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we're going to be taking a look at r/non-political Twitter, a subreddit dedicated to Twitter posts, but not politics. Wow. Some of you might be wondering, hey Blue, when are you going to be looking at politics again? Because it has been a little while. And the answer to that is when politics doesn't actively exhaust me constantly. If I can go 1 week without looking at politics and it just being the most exhausting thing, then maybe I'll consider making a video on it again. But right now, that's not happening, you know? Laughing at anti-vaxxers and Nazis is all well and good, but when they then take over the government and lead a lot of large political power, it's scary and exhausting. That's why. Also, very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that, as always, I will be live over at my Twitch at 7 PM UK time on Thursday, and I stream every Thursday, so come check it out. It's always a good time. I really appreciate the people that do come to my streams. It's always a good time. I might at some point roll up and amp up streaming a bit more because my YouTube channel isn't doing great, and I don't know what to do about it, and that's also mentally exhausting. However, I really enjoy Twitch streaming, so the more people that come and see my Twitch streams, the better, because I genuinely enjoy that. Not that I'm gonna stop making YouTube content, of course. It's sad watching my channel crumble before my eyes. And maybe that's my own fault. Maybe it is, but there's not much I can do about that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now and get into the subreddit. My wife called me to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me. Classic dad jokes. That's a good dad joke as well. How did she know the fox was on its way to work? I have that question too. How did she know? Went to cancel a streaming service that was $10.99 a month. And they were like, lol, okay, you got us. How about $2.99? Going to spend tomorrow cancel threatening every service in my life. Why stop there? What if I told you there is a much cheaper method than subscribing to the 8 different streaming services around now? There's a much cheaper method. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but there's a cheaper method. My son put some tricks in his ant farm. Instead of eating them, the ants dug up all of the dead ants in the farm and piled them on top of the tricks. Not sure what that means, but I'm not eating tricks anymore. I had to Google what tricks were. It's an American cereal brand, I believe, which is funny because you would expect it to just be full of sugar and the ants to go crazy over that. Assuming this is true, the only thing I can maybe suggest to why this is basically when ants die, they release a pheromone which tells the other ants they're dead. And ants have an ant graveyard that they'll go and put dead ants in. There was actually a little study done where if you put this pheromone on an ant that was still alive, the ant would go and put itself in the graveyard and assume that it had died. I can only assume that in tricks there is the same chemical or a similar chemical to that pheromone, which makes the ants assume that it's an ant graveyard? I don't know, but if it is, that's a weird thing to put in that cereal. The biggest scam of all time was convincing kids that Wikipedia, a free source of unlimited information, isn't reliable when there's literal sources at the bottom and a strict editing policy. Yeah, I always found this frustrating as well because it's literally the biggest free source of unlimited information. There are people that dedicate thousands of hours of their lives to curating and improving the website, right? It's insanely good. The only advice I can ever give to anybody, if you are a student and you want to use Wikipedia, don't cite Wikipedia, just go to the sources at the bottom and reference those instead, and no one will be any the wiser. They can't mark you down for that because you're not writing that you're using Wikipedia, you're using sources that have been linked. Human, we have a color named after you. Salmon. Really? Is it silvery blue like my outside? No, wait, why is it pink? Why is it pink? What if I told you, Salmon, that humans don't value salmons for their outsides? I used to work at a haunted house and I pitched a room that was a long black hallway leading to a door that said employees only. And if you were brave enough to open that, there was a sweaty guy in half a gorilla suit eating a sub saying, "You guys can't come back here." Now my favorite part is he said he pitched this room, but he doesn't say it was rejected. So I'm choosing to believe that this idea was actually accepted and taken on board, and that there's a haunted house out there somewhere with this room in it. I choose to believe that. My son on why Caleb is his best friend at kindergarten. He doesn't really speak English, so we can skip all the talking and just get straight to the karate. I mean, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like a life. Who needs to talk when you can karate? Kids have it right, you know? Kids have it right. Just saw a TikTok of someone saying they're never buying garlic again after they discovered this hack and literally planted garlic in their backyard and grew more. Brother, do you think you just discovered agriculture? I saw a lot of these life hacks and a lot of people going, "Oh my gosh, this is revolutionary. How did we not know this?" For this kind of thing, for so many other things as well. Like potatoes was a big one at one point. And I'm like, Minecraft has been one of the best-selling games of all time and one of the most played games of all time for like over a decade now. And Minecraft has farming in it. How do people not know? Before Minecraft, you know, anybody that played on Facebook had Farmville. You know, these concepts aren't new to the internet, and that's, you know, actual agriculture existing in the real world aside. Like, these games that teach you that these concepts exist aren't new, so I don't understand how people had their minds blown by this. At this point, I'm willing to pay more money for appliances with zero smart features and physical controls for everything. This is funny because just the other day, so mine and Leo's kettle broke. It died. So we had to get a new kettle, and we were so tempted. We came so close to buying a smart kettle that had Alexa support, not because we needed it or because it was even really that useful, but because it was so funny. The concept of having a kettle with Alexa support was just so funny. But honestly, like, you can get so many smart things, you know, like smart toasters and smart ovens and smart fridges and all of that kind of thing. And like, in some ways, sure, they probably help, but like in other ways, I don't need a smart toaster, you know? I get that dial set just right and my toaster does exactly what I want it to, you know? There are people out there getting like smart rice cookers. Oh, this is also a thing that annoys me. So AI is a big buzzword at the moment, and smart tech is also a big buzzword, right? So you can buy AI rice cookers. Now they're allowed to call it AI because of ultimately how meaningless that word actually is. You can have a Boolean yes/no code and it be classified as AI. And that's basically what a rice cooker is. So there are rice cookers being advertised as AI when they work exactly the same way as other rice cookers. And that just annoys me. It's so annoying that capitalism has just picked up on this stupid buzzword that doesn't mean anything. And now we just have to pick through technology we want to buy because it's like, oh, this rice cooker says AI on it. I'm gonna get charged more for that now. I didn't intend on going off on a rant in this video. Had an elderly boss who got scammed out of 5k in a "your Mac is infected" call. I told her it was a scam and reported it to Chase Credit. That night she called the scammer angry. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'll refund you. What's your debit card info?" Guess what she did? Oh, it's sadly always, you know, older people that get caught up in these scams, right? But I just don't understand why, because these are the generations that have spent decades telling younger kids, at least when I was a kid, you know, don't believe everything you see on TV. Don't believe it. Don't believe everything you read in the news. You got to be careful about these things. And now they're like, oh, some guy told me that my MacBook is scammed in an email. I should give them my credit card info. I just don't know, how does this happen? They went from don't believe everything you see onto TV to my emails can't lie. That's illegal. Mail is crazy because it's like 99 pieces of straight up garbage and one that if you don't reply to, you're going to jail. The most frustrating part of that also isn't even that it's like entirely spam mail that you can just go sift through and then get to like, oh, this one's sent from HMRC. I know that I need to open that one, because you get like 5 letters a month from HMRC and the government and government agencies that aren't important, and they're based basically just spam. Like, I can't sort through my letters and just pick out the important ones when I get letters from the government that's like, you don't use a TV, but well, what if you do? TV licensing. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a TV license when I literally don't have a TV, you know? I don't use TV. I'm not gonna pay for a license, and they can't do anything about that fact, and I get fucking spam mail from the government about it. I've actually gone on their website and registered that I don't have a TV multiple times, and they still spam me letters about it. It makes sifting through your letters so much harder. I was applying for homeowners insurance today, and they asked if I had any pets, to which I said, yes, 2 cats. And they asked me, have they been trained to attack or cause bodily harm? And I wanted to know if anybody had been able to do this, because I'll hire you. I love the idea of attack cats. Home defense cats. My cats have been trained to attack intruders. Hades is going to be huge. He's already like 5.3 kilos now, by the way. He's 5 months old. Hades is going to be huge. He's a Maine Coon. I'm pointing down here because he's currently sleeping under my table. Hades is actually going to reach a size where like training him to be a home defense cat would actually like work. Like he would actually be able to defend the house. Such a stupid concept. To be asked that by your insurance as well. I'm at the mall with my daughter and her cousin, and because I cramped their style, my kid asked me to walk behind them at a distance. So now, I'm just a 51-year-old man following 2 12-year-old girls around a mall, and I'm sure that looks far better than you cramping their style and not at all concerning to anybody that looks over and goes, I can't fucking stop thinking about the shopping cart theory. There is no dire emergency. Do you accept your duty to return the cart even though you gain nothing? The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task, and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal, an absolute savage who can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with a law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is a good or bad member of society. You know, I can't refute it. I can't refute that because, yeah, ultimately, the only thing that determines whether you put a shopping cart away or don't is your own morals. Your own morals. I can't refute that. I can't. I do not want to save to OneDrive. I want to save to the Documents folder on my computer that I have in my house. Agreed. And OneDrive, as a system, OneDrive could be useful when used voluntarily, Microsoft voluntarily. I would like to opt in, it not just be the default. I shouldn't have to turn it off. But unfortunately, as a system, it is garbage anyway. I have never had or witnessed someone have a document actually be saved or preserved by OneDrive. In fact, Leo, who isn't currently in the room right now, when he was at uni, used OneDrive quite a lot as it was a thing that he was told to do with uni. A lot of his documents that he would write for uni would be automatically saved to OneDrive. He was using Microsoft Word as well, which had autosave on, etc. You know what happened multiple times? Like the day before his essays were due, his laptop would crash or run out of battery or shut down, and OneDrive would corrupt the file. It didn't save shit. It is not a good system. It is not useful. I would even go as far to say that Google Drive is an infinitely superior software, something I voluntarily download because I want and will only run when I tell it to run. And I do use that to back up certain things like D&D campaign notes, and that is it. That's all I use it for, and it automatically backs up when I've got it open and only when I've got it open. Yes, OneDrive is trash. You're trash, Microsoft. And the final post. Had a date yesterday. Couldn't find the cafe and walked around the same intersection for 7-ish minutes. Found it, went in, introduced myself, and apologized for being late. And she said, "It's okay. I saw you walking around lost and just wanted to see how long it would take you." That's cruel, but hilarious. She had every opportunity to go out and be like, "It's in here. I know you're looking for it." I just waited. Just went, "He'll get there eventually." Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. That's stupid and funny. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. As always, if you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support the channel. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.